We have different series in Vivo, X,
Correct.
Y, V. So we kind of segmented each customer based on their demographics, based on their values, the age group. So this actually gave us a good base, a good foundation to kind of make visual guidelines.
So you mean that you think differently for an
Yeah,
X
absolutely.
series customer from a and like a Y series customer?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending upon wherever and whenever you are watching this. Welcome to another edition of Leadership Speaks on the Vivo Newsroom. Today is an extremely exciting day for me. I have one of the most interesting people that we have at Vivo. She is the one who makes Vivo look good. If you have seen Vivo at a store or probably on the street, it is probably Sai's work. Nagasai Adama Reddy. She is leading the CMT team or the creative management team in marketing for Vivo in India. Welcome to Sai.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your newsroom. Thank you so much.
So much good work that you are doing, and it is so exciting to see what what your team does when we see a hoarding on the streets or how you're designing stores.
Yeah.
But I actually want to take a step back.
Yeah.
I want to know where your journey started.
So I did my fashion design, bachelor's in design in NIFT Chennai, and after which I moved. I started working. I started working with the biggest car manufacturer of Korea. I was working both in Hyderabad and Korea at that point. After which I really wanted to learn more and understand the business side of design. So I pursued my master's in strategic design and management at Parsons. After that, everything was different.
Parsons is America, right?
Yes, it's in New York.
Okay.
So I was also teaching there.
Wow.
At that point. Yeah, I was teaching the undergrad students. It was a different life. I learned a lot. I learned the business side of design. Business is not just about hard selling. There's so much thought process that goes into design. So I think that's where I learned a lot. I owe it to Parsons for all the knowledge that they have, shared.
You brought it back to Vivo.
Yes.
And you joined about 5-6 years back.
Yes, you're right.
How have things evolved when you started off and when we see now? How has really design evolved in Vivo? So
everybody was, aware of the brand. Now we wanted to take it a notch higher, which everybody does. Now in product marketing, how we saw this and how we actually went on with the processes. We have different series in Vivo, X, Y, V. So we kind of segmented each customer based on their demographics, based on their values, the age group. So this actually gave us a good base, a good foundation to kind of make visual guidelines. When I say visual guidelines, each series has a particular way of look and feel.
Wow. So you mean that you think differently for an X series customer from and like a Y series customer?
Absolutely.
How different is that, and how do you really segment that?
Like X is more for the professional photographers. So the kind of language that needs to be treated is more sophistication, more maturity, more elegance, right? So this is what
you're saying youngsters are not elegant.
I'm not saying that. Now coming on to Y series, and now the V and Y are a little more towards the younger audience, right? Now how do we treat it? They are definitely matured, but they also have a great aspiration for lifestyle, and they have a sense of style which is very different from X series. So the color palette for V and Y also changes accordingly. Like
it's a difference that you see between a phenomenal streetwear styled person or a person wearing a three-piece suit and nice shoes.
Yes.
But both of them are elegant and stylish in their own way. But they have a very different design language altogether.
So like you just said, three-piece suit and cargos or denims. We also create guidelines on what kind of clothes these people wear, and we want to show that in our campaigns as well. So when you see our advertisements, they are extremely close to what we have designed in our visual guidelines.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the amount of care and amount of detailing that we go into every time we craft a design, a creative, or an advertisement.
And for us, hoarding is a hoarding, right? That you see. And we never knew that actually so much love, care goes into creating
Yes.
every single
Yes.
hoarding that we see.
Yes.
But what more do you do? I think you also design stores for us,
Yes.
right?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
So now, India's retail, system is very huge. We have general trade, we have modern trade like Chroma, Reliance, and other brands. We also have exclusive stores. We have, customer service stores as well. So,
service centers also.
Yes.
Oh.
So in the past 3 years, Geetash, if you see, we have massively grown. And quantity, we can say 650 stores we've opened, exclusive stores we've opened in the past 3 years. Now you can say that's a lot. How are you taking care of these things, right? So each and every trade, GT or MT, they have different guidelines again. Like how we treat, a creative and a store is no different. We craft different guidelines for all the three businesses.
So, like, you decide what kind of display case will be there.
Absolutely.
You design the KVs that will go on those display cases.
Yes.
And what all do you do in exclusive stores? I think you design the whole store there, right?
Absolutely. So now in exclusive store, we even go to the length where we understand if the city that we are having this exclusive store is a tier 1, tier 2.
I think you also did the Ahmedabad store, right?
Right.
And it is the largest store that we have in India.
Yes.
And it is phenomenal. It's spread across floors. How do you really go about designing something like that?
So it was almost a very marquee project for us. It was one of the biggest store we had at that point. And Ahmedabad, first we obviously went to do a recce. We wanted to see how the physical store looked like, the existing location. So we had to break everything down, Geetash, because we had to make different levels so that the consumer experience is actually great when he walks into the store. So we made one area totally designated for hardcore selling, and we made one area for the customer service, and we made one section where they were just for you to enjoy the new technologies that we
I've
got
seen
in.
that. Like, people can do gaming there.
Yes.
There's a place where people can click photos and selfies. It's a brilliant
Yeah,
store.
so actually one thing, we are a smartphone company. Photography is such a core for us. So we wanted to create a space where consumers can come, interact with that area and click great pictures with their family. It's also one way of connecting with it. We speak about live the joy, right? Which is our ethos. So we wanted consumers to come with their families, capture those moments when they first bought the phone.
Well, in India, it's a family thing. Going and buying
Absolutely.
a phone.
Yeah.
You will rarely see one person coming in and buying a phone. There's a family involved.
Absolutely. So we've seen a lot of kids also come in.
Yeah.
We make sure there's something for the kids as well when they come into the store. So we want this to be a great experience when they come in. We want to give them that kind of experience which resonates with our brand.
So going back to the store, I think Ahmedabad store is phenomenal. It's huge, but you also have a service center there, right? What is really the difference between designing a store and designing a service center? They all still have to speak the brand language, but they are very different, right?
So when you see the floor of an exclusive store, there's a lot of movement that happens. We really don't have as much of waiting period there. We don't have, although people want to experience the phone, you don't do that while sitting. It's more of you walking around, understanding which phone is where, and there are a lot of zones
quite
created.
An open kind of atmosphere,
yes, it's more of, there's a lot of freedom to move around. When you come to a service center, it's a bit different. You hand over your phones and wait for it to get repaired. And we are exceptional in doing it very fast, but there's still a little bit of waiting time. Right?
Correct.
So we made that effort to make that place comfortable for people to come and wait. And there are also kids who come along, right? So we made that very comfortable for families to wait out. And we also have created furniture pieces with materials that are really premium and comfortable. Ergonomics is considered, and whole experience of just waiting there is not that bad. It is actually very easy, very comfortable space to wait.
I think that's so cool, because I think our service team is doing a brilliant job.
Yes.
They are ensuring that we don't have to wait for too long when we are getting when the phones are getting serviced. But I think what you have done with the design of the center also, so much thought going behind to ensure that it is comfortable for people to wait is commendable. But there is another thing that you're doing very well. And I saw that some time back, which is the Design Collective.
Oh yes.
Tell me about that.
So, I'm very excited to talk about it also, because it's definitely heart of all the, work that we do. It really has all our heart. So Vivo Design Collective, now which is an intellectual property, was created, to bridge the gap between Vivo as a brand and the Indian design and art space. So what we do here essentially is we collaborate with young designers. We collaborate with students from design universities. We collaborate with anybody in the field of art. It could be sculptors, it could be weavers.
Wow.
So what we want to bring here is actually we want to infuse our work, our product offerings, our marketing campaigns with a lot of Indianness. We want that culture to be infused in whatever we do. So this is Design Collective. Now, for the first inaugural edition, which was launched during Tech Day, we collaborated with two great artists from the modern art, Vimal Chandran and Shantanu Hazarika.
Some stunning designs that happened there, right?
Yes, I think a lot of people were in love with the
artwork.
So
many people. I think I saw a lot of media people and influencers coming and just being awed by the design.
Absolutely. So what we done for the edition was we gave them the theme of Vivo for India. So that was the first thing that we did. And we got their interpretations in an artwork.
Wow.
Now, this artwork, what we did for the inaugural edition was we converted them into, packaging box sleeves. We made them phone covers. We also made few CMF panels which are inspired by the art. So now there's no stopping for this Design Collective.
Correct.
So now, just after the Tech Day, we're also thinking about how we can take this forward. We may be able to launch, special edition or Diwali editions where we have these artists' work, in our product offerings and campaigns.
I'm so excited to see what you are going to come up with the Design Collective. It is such a great initiative.
I'm excited too.
And really looking forward to what you guys turn it into.
Yeah.
But what next, Sai? What's happening after this? Design Collective has happened. You have been designing stores. What excites you and what's happening next with?
So Geeta, I think we have aced the product marketing now. Now it's all about, even back then, consumer was at the center. Now whatever we do going forward, we want to design for the people. And that's where our core is. And we continuously strive to make changes in, how the visual guidelines are seen. And we're not the only user team. There are many user teams who use these guidelines to help their marketing plans or sales plans better. And all the communication that goes on, they use these kind of guidelines to go forward.
Sai, that was such an interesting insight. But, on the last 10 years, how do you think we have evolved as a brand, especially in terms of design? How do you see our journey in the last 10 years?
Geeta, it's a roller coaster ride. 10 years, there have been many market shifts. There's been new technology innovations that have happened. One particular time that I really think we should talk about is during pandemic. Now, in pandemic, retail has, how retail things have changed. It was a hard hit for retail. So this was an interesting time because we had to pivot as a creative team. Now we wanted to while we understand that the sales were not at the best during this pandemic, how else are we doing things right? So we saw the trend that there was a huge surge in digital marketing, and we saw how digital was one great medium to kind of make things happen, because retail was almost not present at that point. So our communication completely changed. It was all about hard selling before. It was all about how great this phone is, how much are we offering, and all of
Mhm.
that. But here, it was this incident, that pandemic, changed a lot for us. Our entire communication became more humane. It was more, empathetic. It was, at that time, our communication was about health. It was about social distancing. It was about how to, reach for help if needed for any of, the Indians around. So that was more of our communication. So this shift, actually, I would say, was very important for us as designers, as creative people, to open more and to kind of understand how people and the consumers are at the center, how are they at core, and how we design things around them.
I know, and it is very important to understand what stage of life they are
Absolutely.
and what they are going through.
Yeah.
And I think all of us changed as human beings also at that time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think, and that goes true for consumers also.
Yeah.
They also changed, and they were expecting that from brands at that time, to be a bit more humane,
Yes.
as you rightly said,
Yes.
and to be able to relate to them. I think that's a commendable job, to really pivot
Absolutely.
from a hard-hitting product conversation to something that is more
Absolutely.
emotional in nature.
So
And
now,
I think also that is the time after that where our brand purpose came into being,
yes,
which is live
yes,
the joy, right?
Yes, yes.
And which was very human in nature.
Yes. So you see the transformation of the brand and the kind of journey we went through. Pandemic helped us, innovations have helped us. It has shaped us in a way to think very differently. And this is, I think, one reason why Vivo is doing great stuff, and still many people are connecting with us because of the kind of, campaigns we have. Just take switch off. I think, which is one of my favorite campaigns, right? How we've communicated switch off. And that is something we need to be doing more.
Yeah.
And that's why we will stay relevant. We will stay ahead of others.
I think, yes, I think our brand purpose really brought a lot of things to life and brought
Absolutely.
them together. It is
Absolutely.
about bringing joy to people's lives
Yeah.
through simplified technology
Yeah.
and experiences.
Yeah.
And if you read that as a statement, it has so much togetherness into it.
Absolutely.
It has so much family. It has so much more than just a product that has features.
Absolutely.
So I think you and your team has embodied that beautifully
Thank you.
in some of the communication that you have done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sai. I think that was such an exhilarating design journey that you took us through.
Thank you.
Starting from stores to hoardings to the design collective. I am so excited
Thank
with
you.
whatever you guys are doing and what you have in store with us for the future. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
It
Geetash.
has
Thank you
been
so much.
a great experience.
Thanks for having me on Newsroom. I hope we do many more great things together.